Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down while it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We've got some ideas. A speculator, we're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's doing
really?
This. Oh.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse. Who hasn't?
It started with a smug grin and collapsed into outright disaster. Somewhere in the chaos, Gavin Newsom lost track of which camera to panic into. And yes, everyone caught it. Joe Rogan barreled in like a wrecking ball, hurling facts like iron weights. Then Greg Gutfeld followed immediately, firing punchlines sharper than California's tax hikes. What came next wasn't just a takedown, it was a slow-motion blast that erased everything in its path. Not even Newsom's cement-thick hair gel made it out intact. Settle in, because this wasn't just a clash, it was a full on-air meltdown.
Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a fucking con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and that's a human being. With Newsom, you got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President Trump.
Cut to Gavin Newsom. The camera pushes in like his hairline is about to broker peace with a bottle of premium conditioner. He's frozen at the podium, radiating the trademark confidence of a man convinced the planet rotates just to catch his words. And then, slam, the voiceover drops like thunder soaked in sarcasm. Because the moment Rogan and Gutfeld locked onto California's Sparkle Prince, it stopped being a conversation. It turned into a televised demolition derby in $1,000 suits. Not a debate, but a polished wrecking ball tearing straight through Newsom's glossy political mask.
But
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes, 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 yes.
Is it because of Israel? Yes. Interest rates? Yes. Too woke? Yes. It's like every bad policy that trickled up to the White House during the Biden administration started in California. That state is responsible for the worst politicians in modern history. And he is at the top of the list, and there are some ignoramuses on that list.
If you are enjoying this so far, please hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about Gavin, the man who strides into every room like it's a runway titled Big Government, The Collection. He's perfected the politician's holy trio, the toothpaste ad smile, the prepackaged TED Talk lines, and a leadership style that freezes faster than a buffering stream. He's the poster child of progressive politics, dripping with charm, tossing out climate catchphrases, and probably carrying a wallet stitched from recycled awards. But peel back that polished glow, and what's underneath? Nothing but glitter, ego, and far more performance than progress.
Their houses have been burned, all their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground. And this guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plans.
Watch this.
And don't even get me started on the climate sermons. Gavin stacks up enough eco-pledges to stock an entire Whole Foods aisle, yet California's power grid folds at the first whisper of wind. Go electric, they cheer, then warn everyone not to charge their cars between 4 and 9 p.m. because the sun punched out early. Peak irony, gas stoves get banned, while half the state cooks dinner by flashlight. This isn't policy, it's climate theater, a tragic comedy where everyone stumbles in the dark, pretending it's progress.
And he's the guy who thinks he's going to run for president when, so much of the state is absolutely unlivable. And so every project that he's championed, he's now trying to demonize conveniently, and people are not that dumb. Like, people have been through it in his state. They are sick of him. They want him to leave. And maybe that's why so many people around him are like, you should totally run for president. So he gets out of the state.
Yes. Move away. Tyrus, did he leave out anything?
He didn't just leave California, he made a clean escape, like someone spotting a glitch in the system and bolting for the emergency exit. And honestly, who could fault him? When your state starts to resemble a post-apocalyptic video game instead of a paradise, even a sauna-loving, elk-hunting podcast titan knows it's time to go. Rogan hit the accelerator, flew down Interstate 10, and never glanced back. He swapped smog for open Texas skies and scripts for freedom, like a UFC champion trading kale for steak. And he didn't fade out quietly. He carried the loudest microphone on the planet, the Joe Rogan Experience. This isn't just a podcast, it's a media powerhouse with over 100 million listeners and an algorithm that gives cable news cold sweats. Rogan's edge, no filters, just heat. And nothing sparked that fire faster than Newsom's lockdown logic. While Gavin sipped fine wine like the world was ending, Rogan blasted the hypocrisy so hard the French Laundry nearly closed from secondhand embarrassment.
Down in Hawaii, you had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to John. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying, we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush.
And Rogan didn't arrive solo. He showed up with an army, doctors, economists, comedians, armed with graduate-level sarcasm, all lining up to paint one jaw-dropping picture. California's rules made less sense than a TikTok finance expert explaining markets through cartoon filters. Small businesses got flattened, while mega corporations glided through the chaos like they owned the place. Health orders felt like they came straight from a magic 8-ball, random, confusing, and perfectly inconvenient. And through it all stood Gavin, flashing that blinding white grin, convinced a little extra hair gel could patch broken trust. Then came the great tech exodus, the modern Oregon Trail, but this time it was Teslas instead of wagons. Rogan didn't just talk, he packed up and moved, hauling his studio to Austin where blackouts weren't a daily ritual. California had grown hostile to innovation and allergic to freedom, and Rogan's strongest argument wasn't a chart or a quote, it was his own life.
So, while Californians have lost their homes and they're still suffering from the devastation, what does Gavin Newsom decide to do? Well, now is apparently the perfect time to try and boost his popularity and essentially promote himself. He's launched a podcast. I'll play you the trailer in just a moment, but take notice. Does the trailer that he shared with the world on X, does it even mention the most horrific fire catastrophe that occurred under his leadership, partly as a result of the decisions he was making, like cutting fire prevention? No, this is his chance to talk about his image, insisting that he's no ordinary politician.
He didn't need to raise his voice or lean on theatrics. He just took the mic and said what everyone was already thinking. This isn't working. And then, boom, Greg Gutfeld charges in like a raccoon on a mission, armed with a doctorate in mockery. He doesn't yell, he cuts. Every word delivered with a smirk. Every line a jab sharp enough to curdle almond milk. Gutfeld is a 5-star takedown served cold. Slick hair, ruthless timing, and precision that leaves a sting. He looked at Gavin's perfectly polished shine and voiced what millions only whispered. The man resembles a cologne ad, but governs like he's blindfolded in Sim City. Then he yanked back the curtain. Behind the Vanity Fair grin sat tent cities, boarded up shops, and juice bars barely hanging on. A dystopia with a yoga mat, and Gavin still smiling like homelessness was solved with scented candles and self-help quotes.
about anything? I think there's about 100 other reasons too.
Well, you can't, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morse code.
Yes.
Go back and watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink, look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending. I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
But Gutfeld didn't stop at the polish. He went straight for the jugular. His real target? The media's absurd infatuation with Gavin. Legacy outlets treat him like a JFK revival, just with better teeth and a designer tote bag. Yet beneath the glow sits chaos wrapped in a spray tan. Gutfeld's monologues weren't just jokes. They landed like artillery. He shredded glowing headlines praising Gavin's bold leadership, while everyday people were sinking under gas bills, sky-high rent, and grocery panic. Families struggled to afford milk, yet magazines swooned over his visionary aura. Then came the climate comedy. Gutfeld unleashed like a caffeine-fueled truth sniper, slicing through buzzwords like carbon equity and solar dreams. It all sounds noble until one question lands. Who's paying for it? While regular folks endure blackouts, bureaucrats glide around in hybrids like characters in a sci-fi fantasy. Charging stations, mostly imaginary. Gutfeld didn't just expose it, he tore it apart. This wasn't saving the planet, it was staging an Instagram photo op.
When Gavin Newsom talks about California, he's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. It's too expensive. Believe that he's correct about vaccines, or whether you believe his policies would be effective. And that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President Trump.
Then came the knockout punch, Gavin's White House fantasy. Rumors of 2028 float around him like incense at a yoga retreat, but Gutfeld isn't buying a single second of it. He torched the idea that a man who can't manage one state could somehow run the entire country. He's running all right, Gutfeld cracked, but it's from accountability, not toward the presidency. The jokes practically assembled themselves. Newsom's White House dream, like franchising a restaurant that just failed 3 health inspections. The sign looks shiny, but the kitchen's filthy, the freezer's broken, and the reviews are flaming disasters. Literally, Gutfeld didn't just joke, he blew up the illusion. Every punchline landed with truth so sharp, even Gavin's PR team couldn't spin it. And then came the tag team moment nobody expected. Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld locking in like twin wrecking balls, smashing the Gavin Newsom myth. Rogan delivered the facts, Gutfeld brought the fire, and together they showed that Newsom's leadership doesn't just miss, it wipes out the entire target.
Runs for national office, he acts like a Republican. This is where the left is really pro-trans. Suddenly, they grow balls.
He didn't shout, flail, or throw a tantrum. Rogan simply spoke with that calm, unbreakable tone that lands harder than any scream. People are leaving, businesses are running, homelessness is surging. I moved for a reason. That voice hit like a velvet-wrapped sledgehammer. Rogan wasn't trying to entertain, and that's exactly why it cut so deep. Then Gutfeld charged in, same precision, different energy. Where Rogan dissected with logic, Gutfeld roasted with style. He read the government script like a comic trapped performing the world's worst play, every line dripping with disbelief. Rogan reached the thinkers, the ones demanding receipts, proof, and reality. Gutfeld grabbed the skeptics, the crowd that stopped trusting mainstream news when slogans replaced sense. Rogan's audience shared charts and clips. Gutfeld's just pointed at the flaming chaos and said, there it is.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has been facing major calls to resign over his appalling handling of the deadly California wildfires. And just to quickly recap, these were the most destructive wildfires the state has ever seen. More than 16,000 properties were destroyed. The cost of the fires is estimated to be more than $200 billion. And for businesses in LA County, the future is looking grim. It's projected businesses will continue to lose billions of dollars over the next 5 years due to destruction.
But no matter the method, Rogan with icy precision or Gutfeld with blazing sarcasm, they landed on the same brutal truth. Gavin Newsom isn't leading, he's performing. And the reviews, 2 massive thumbs down. This isn't just failure, it's failure dipped in glitter. He's like a movie trailer that promises a masterpiece, but delivers 90 minutes of confusion, slow motion speeches, and hollow slogans. Rogan and Gutfeld weren't fooled for a second. They came from opposite directions, saw the same illusion, and tore through it like professionals. Gavin stands as the walking, talking symbol of all style and zero substance. Endless speeches, no results. And when those two ripped away the glossy mask, it stopped being commentary. It turned into a full-blown political intervention. One used a wrench, the other a chainsaw, and what they exposed had people on every side nodding in stunned disbelief.
You know, when I went there, I had a great relationship with President Xi. We got along very well. And they treated me better than anybody has ever been treated. And I said, this air is good. Do you know they closed every factory 1 week before I got there from within 200 miles?
That's like what Gavin Newsom did when Xi Jinping came to San Francisco.
He cleaned it up.
He cleaned it up. He got rid of all
Isn't
the
that
homeless
terrible
people.
in a way? To think, you know, he cleaned it up and then it became a pigsty.
Well, the dumbest thing is he said when your friends come by, when you have visitors, you clean up your house. Like, how about just keep your fucking house clean?
Can you imagine?
It's the dumbest thing I've ever
I
heard.
keep bringing up Gavin. Well, other than my respect for his work in American Psycho, he's starting to distance himself from his party's worst ideas. Newsom, a guy who hates fossil fuels but could still bring down the price of gas by wringing out his hair, once proclaimed that his state would be a sanctuary to all who seek it.
And suddenly, everything snapped into focus across the spectrum. Libertarians, conservatives, exhausted millennials, disillusioned hipsters, even that barista who swore off politics after the last election, all nodding in sync. Different paths, same reaction. They realized the real disaster wasn't just failed leadership, it was the non-stop theater itself. And just when it couldn't get any wilder, boom, the final montage landed like a cinematic knockout. By then, it wasn't about who won, but what got exposed. Gavin Newsom didn't just face criticism, he got decoded. The curtain fell, leaving nothing but filters, flash, and hollow fixes. Rogan could drop a full episode titled California Collapse, Volume 2. Gutfeld might spin it into a viral skit, Gavin's Glamour Tour, Homelessness Edition, and Gavin, will he rethink or reflect? Of course not. He'll probably post a wind turbine selfie with a caption about leading with vision, because for him, it's never been about change. It's always been about the performance.